Hey everyone, my name is Neil Karski and I'm the CEO of Patient Engine, a seven-figure digital marketing, lead conversion, and coaching agency for high-ticket aesthetics providers. And I would like to personally welcome you to the Aesthetics Millionaires Show, where we sit down with industry entrepreneurs to talk about their personal journeys and discuss proven growth strategies. My genuine hope is that through this podcast, we can create more success stories in this industry and help more business owners scale past their competition. Enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, another amazing episode of Aesthetics Millionaires Show podcast. I have two very special guests today, Elior and Sasha Zion. They're from Massachusetts. They're the owners of Elite Med Spa in Newton, Massachusetts. And they have a really cool story. So I'm going to share this with you guys today. Thanks so much for joining, guys. And thanks so much for joining our family here at Patient Engine as well. Guys, let's get right into it. I know, Leo, you're a pilot. And yeah, just tell us how you get into this industry. Aesthetics is kind of a trendy thing to do these days. And we know that million med spas popped up in the last 3 years. But how did you guys get into this industry and into entrepreneurship in general?
I actually... It's a funny story. We were on vacation in 2020 in Miami, and we used to live there. She came back. She came back to the hotel where we stayed, and she told me that she just did the lymphatic drainage sort of thing that, and she told me how much she paid for it, and I said, "What? This is how much you paid for it? How much it costs to own the machine?" And 3 months later, we had the machine.
Yeah, honestly, I've always loved aesthetics growing up. I love trying it. I love doing it. And it was a new opportunity that came into my hands to manage a place like this. It was a first-time experience, but it's been a great journey so far. I get to know all about new devices that are coming into play and how it can help us and non-invasive ways to just look and feel great, which I absolutely love.
So you were in Miami. What made you want to try like the lymphatic drainage stuff, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It was hyped. It was trending because it was something that was non-invasive, no downtime, and you're feeling lighter immediately. You get that bloat taken away. Your skin's feeling tighter, and you're just feeling, very fit and toned. So I was like, you know what? Let me try it for myself. It's a big thing in Eastern Europe. I'm Ukrainian, so essentially in Eastern Europe, a lot of people go do lymphatic drainage massages for themselves. But this device was special because it was from Italy. So I was like, oh, I need to try the newest device that came out. And when I tried it for myself, the results were absolutely amazing. I was
What was the device?
Endospheres therapy.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah. So I was feeling, honestly very good in my outfit. And I was like, I have to do this again. I can't stop.
And you're like, man, I could sell this, huh?
Yeah, we didn't have anything in Boston. So I was like, how am I going to go back home and not have this for myself? And then that was the idea of, hey, let's, get the ball rolling and do something different here.
So Leo, when she came back from Miami, obviously you saw the financial opportunity, but what were your thoughts on like, hey, this is the new type of venture I want to pursue?
So going back to the fact that I fly for a living, and it was 2 months before COVID actually became a thing. So as I'm looking into it, I faced a 50% pay cut, and we were not. I was pretty sure I was going to get fallout from the airlines. So I needed to think of a backup plan, and all the dominoes kind of fell on each other, and the opportunity came. Like the medical director that we have came into place, and her husband was on board as well. So it kind of, they say when you want things to happen, they kind of work out when you imagine them, and that's exactly our journey.
And who wouldn't want to lose weight after COVID? Everyone was feeling, not their best version. So it was a perfect time to get, back into this industry and just better ourselves after being stuck at home for so long.
Yeah.
Told you she's good at what she's doing.
There you go.
Yeah. That's a supportive
That's
man.
the industry that body sculpting was initially the industry that I bet on when we started with advertising, and it definitely blew up. So you guys were obviously in the right trend.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about like those initial days, how you guys were like building the business in itself. Like, what did you start out with? How did you learn some of these key lessons in the beginning? How did you start acquiring customers? How did you learn how to sell? How did you learn what to pick? Like,
Yeah.
we obviously, there's a lot of trial by error for everybody in the beginning. Um, let's talk about some of those early days, because those are like the foundation building days.
I'm remembering those days, and I'm honestly just laughing at myself what I used to do. But
A lot of crying in the car. Trust
yeah,
me.
lots of crying, lots of crying. I was like, I don't understand this. But essentially, we did start off with very easy, lighter machines like lipo laser, pressotherapy, hydrofacial, simple things. And then we just kind of kept pivoting and trying to engage and do more and have things that stand out versus other places. But in the beginning, I would say one of the struggles was just getting clients, and that's where he comes in. So he helped me with that.
I actually used to work this place full time.
He was at the
Wow.
front
That's
desk.
it's the craziest thing on earth, because try to get into to a med spa, and a straight guy is talking to you and try to give you a consultation, but I would never get into the room because it's it would forever be a problem. But nobody was able to talk over here, so somebody needed to open up the mouth and try to get them going.
I was shy.
Um,
I had
and
no experience.
this took it took a lot of took 5 months, 5 or 6 months of pain and misery. And this is that was the darker period of time of our life. The darker period of time in our lives,
Yeah.
if we can call it this way.
It was finding the flow. So basically, in the beginning, I didn't have the right team. I was still trying to understand, how the team works and who's a good fit, who's not a good fit, trial and error, right? For different people. Right now, we've built a really good team, but in the beginning, it was me on my own, kind of just diving in and trying to do everything by myself. I took a lot of pressure because, I had expectations to be met, and it was very scary in the beginning. You invest in devices and you don't know if you're going to get that outcome that you're looking for. So the pressure cooker was on.
Leo, how did you learn how to sell, and how did you transfer that skill set into the consultation room?
So I was working at basically over the phone,
Cold calling.
cold calling environment of trying to convince people to do things that not do things, but try to sell things that I may or may not have actually thought about, how they didn't get to the bottom of it. Let's put it this way. And training was very intense. It was all about, it doesn't really matter what you're gonna do. All that matters is to deliver the point and get them to trust you. And I had some problems with it. So when but that was my first initial kind of experience with sales, and anything in between. It we stepped a lot forward when I actually had to do the job, because I gave my word that I was gonna have a med spa, and I had people invested to like in our place to get it going, and I wasn't gonna let anybody down. So if I had to learn what body sculpting is, or what one machine does, or another, I mean, I was all about doing it. And in the beginning, it was the challenge was that I got into an industry that I knew nothing about, and I woke myself up and said, okay, we need to start swimming, and I didn't even know how to walk.
I think he was building my confidence. That's what I can say, because I was very shy when we first started. I couldn't even open my mouth to say $100. I swear to God, like I was nervous to say numbers.
I agree.
So he would sit with me and he'd be like, say 1,000, say 1,000. And I'm like, 1,000. And he's like, scream 1,000. And I was like, 1,000. And then ever since then, like we've, picked up confidence skills and how I should, obviously engage with clients, how I should speak to clients. And
I do have to say that the breakthrough was the first time we saw results, and
yes,
actual results.
yes, with our devices.
This made everything to a whole different experience. Because in the beginning, we knew it's there. I knew it was there because I know my wife, and I knew that if she went and did something for herself, then she she does trust the actual process.
Yeah.
But I never saw how can you measure the results when when you see each other on a constant basis, it accelerated much further once we I actually remember this client. It's funny. The first time that I saw the before and after, and I go, wow,
it does work.
Yeah.
It does work. In the beginning, sometimes you're like, I'm not sure, I hope it'll work, but I knew that these devices would work because I tried it on myself. So I was like, well, we're not going to invest in something here that I wouldn't do for myself.
So you guys got to build up that confidence and conviction by being able to say, hey, we can actually do this. We can deliver clients results. It made you a lot more comfortable. I think one important point that you bring up is something that I coach a lot of my clients on, that I see, and this is actually what I'm presenting on tonight, but I see people like selling these few $100 treatment plans. And I think deep down inside, they know they're not going to get the client's best results. But like you said, they're maybe afraid of saying 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000. So they're afraid of basically asking for it. And they know like, hey, maybe I can get this smaller plan. And it's usually a disservice to both parties because they're probably not going to get the best results. And then, the owners are usually disappointed because the ROI isn't there. And then they get smaller commissions, but they want to make that sale. They're not afraid to make a bigger sale that's usually the best sale, right?
Yeah.
So
if you don't believe in your machines, you're not going to, provide a service as well. Like our technicians literally shape your body. They work on not only, just putting on a device, but also like a treatment plan outside of the spa. So we do work on outside and inside, like what you can do to better yourself, lifestyle, health wise, food wise. We try to speak to the clients and just see what they do in their daily routine that's also not working.
How did you, so we talked about a little bit about sales and stuff like that. So you guys initially started out with body sculpting devices, correct? You started out with the lymphatic drainage. What did you add then? And then how did you actually figure out how do you get like those clients the best results? Because I feel like you said, that was like a big breakthrough that helped you guys get some momentum.
Honestly, I went to Ukraine. I went straight to the roots, and I had really strong training over there by people that have been doing it for decades. And the trainers over there are really aggressive in a good way. They teach you this is exactly what you need to do, the protocol you have to follow in order to get good results. And I was there for a week just drilling all the different ways that I can improve.
And I was the model, and I have no cellulite anymore.
Yeah. And that's honestly what made it grow. So I came back and I teach the girls on staff, this is exactly what you have to do. And even the company itself for Endospheres asked me to be a teacher for them and just travel state to state to share the knowledge. But I don't have time for it. So I said, I'm sorry, guys, but it was a nice thing.
I genuinely think that we're the only, one med spa that has 3 devices of the same brand, and
yes.
They're all booked, and I need another one.
Yes, absolutely. And then we, after that, started increasing on other brands as well.
So what did you guys add on? So lymphatic drainage, then you added on what? Muscle toning, fat reduction?
Yeah,
what
muscle
else?
toning, Evolve X.
I think we got Morpheus right between Endospheres and Evolve X.
Yes. So the next device we got was the Morpheus 8 because that was also absolutely amazing. Radio frequency, skin tightening for the face. Absolutely love it. Laser hair, Dialaze, and Lumeka, of course, the photofacial. And then after that, we got the Evolve X. That's the sculpting one. I like it personally the most. I've tried M-Sculpt in the past. I just thought it was a little bit more aggressive because it does radio frequency and it can really target fat loss, which is not something that all devices can do. And I really like it.
So let's talk about like figuring out how to get clients, right? What did you guys do in the beginning when you first started out, and what has worked for you guys since? Obviously, you're big paid ads advocates, Leo, and
Absolutely.
um, but and then that's how I've scaled my all of my businesses as well. But let's talk about marketing a little bit, and like how did you guys start to figure that out? I mean, you've been able to scale tremendously to seven figures here in the last 3 years, or even sooner than that. So let's talk about some of those key lessons around like marketing. We talked a little bit about sales and stuff, but I would love to hear more about sales. Like you're obviously you guys are selling treatment plans, but like tell us a little bit more about the confidence and the conviction that actually disseminated to some of your staff as well, so they were able to convert those consult to closes. We know how important that is, and some of those other lessons that helped you guys kind of go from 0 to 10, 10 to 25, 25 to 50, right? There's those ladder steps. So we'd love to hear a little bit more on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
I'll take it away. In the beginning, I would just talk to clients. Like that's how we started. So there was not a right base, right? We're just talking and seeing how the results were week by week, month by month, just word of mouth. That's essentially how in the beginning we knew how our results were. What escalated to what we have today with the retention is we do great before and after pictures on our social media. So we'll take a picture before of the client's journey, and after, let's say they do 12 sessions, right? We take their pictures after. So we can show our clients the before and after, and they do feel it, but they need to see it as well, because if they don't see it, they're like, I feel something, I'm not sure. But it's those before and after pictures that's a big deal for us. And we post on our social media account if our, clients allow us to do it. So that's a big breakthrough that we had for just client results and retention. It's a word of mouth. People, if they like results, they're going to tell their friends about it. So we had a lot of people that told their friends, and then they told somebody else. And that's just kind of how the grapevine went. And that's also how we get a good amount of clients as well for the body.
So how do you guys get a lot of referrals?
We do have a good amount. Yeah, I have to say, like, I'm very proud of that, especially like in the Russian Ukrainian community, a lot of referrals, because it's very popular in Eastern Europe, this treatment as well for the lymphatic. And they just tell their friends, hey, I had this device done, I absolutely loved it, you should try it. And then that's how they come in.
It's just magical how people talk once they once they actually satisfy.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to come here, have fun, and get the results going. I mean, and the rest basically the rest happens on its own.
I do an analysis of the body before, and all the girls were taught, for example, the protocol, how to look at the body, know what the person needs, whether it's Evolve, whether it's Icon, whether it's Endosphere. It's all honestly based on our education here. So we get certified on all of the devices. We're trained as well. So we go through extensive training, and we literally learn who is a good candidate for what on their medical history. And that's how that transpires to the team here. They have very good knowledge and background of how the body works. They're not newbies. They don't, they're not fresh. They know exactly what they're doing.
Can you go through a little bit more into like effectively, maybe one? I think we know staff is critical.
Yes.
And man, it's been a shit show, right? In the last few years.
It's been so hard. I'm telling you,
finding the right people.
I'm gripping onto this team.
Right. So having a good team is extremely important. I have an HR consultant that I use to even post and interview people, because it's absolutely, it's been complex. So let's talk about hiring, understanding like what do you guys look for in your talent and your team that you hire, and let's talk about training a little bit, because I think it's important, and this has been definitely one of the critical parts of your success.
Yeah. So it's kind of challenging finding new hires that are completely fully loaded with everything that you need to know. So what we do is we have first of all like a website that they do, like an online portal where they learn information.
We just treat it like You know,
Like a school
like
program.
I have been trained to fly an airplane. It's the exact same thing. I mean, there are videos that mandatory for them to watch before they even step onto the floor.
Yeah.
And a lot of ongoing questions and answers and sessions before they even get to the rooms. They'll be here, they'll be around, but they'll help cleaning up, and they'll help doing like certain like different things. And it's a lot of this happens on the job. They're not going to be they don't touch clients before they fully ready,
100%.
before we vouch, before we think that they actually fully are ready. But the best way to train is and get the experience is by getting wet, right? And I think we're doing a pretty good job um, at having them thinking through and outside the getting them outside of the comfort zone, because the majority of them never touch the body or never touch the face.
Some of them are licensed. Well, no, everyone's a licensed esthetician, but some of them like have massage therapy background, so they're not fully, unsure on devices. But for example, I'll have them shadow for the first 2 to 4 weeks. 2 weeks is usually a good period. Then for that, we have practice training. So we have a model lay down. We do the different like positions, the routine of how we're gonna treat the client when they come in. Then I do, for example, the protocols, and I ask them, please explain to me how this treatment works. They have to repeat, and understand, not just repeat like something that you've read. Like, they have to really think and acknowledge. I'm like, well, if this person asked this question, if this person has this body type, this person has this medical history, how would you answer to that? And that's how they start to think with their head, like, okay, like maybe I should go into this direction, maybe I should go into that direction, maybe I shouldn't even touch them with this device. So I do that quite a bit, put them on the spot kind of to get them learning. And then after that, they're ready to go, honestly. Like after.
Does Leo sit with your new staff and say 3,000, say
Absolutely.
3,000?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Every one of them. And it's quite like I still try until today to show up to sales meetings and stay involved. Like, even though I'm doing a lot in the in the backstage of things anymore than what I used to before, but I do try to make sure that I give it's not my sheep pass me by miles away with sales, that there is no doubt there.
It's not about sales. It's honestly the protocol that they need. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not offering something that I don't think wouldn't work. So you need a series to see results, and once is not enough. I tell them if it's not surgery. We have to go through a process. And if you want to have results, you have to essentially pay to have these results.
Well, usually one is not enough to get them to where they want to go.
Exactly.
Right?
Everyone wants
Absolutely.
miracles immediately. And I tell them that's not possible. Let's work together. Let's come in and
our biggest saying is, have you ever you don't go to the doctor to ask for I don't know, for an eye surgery and say, oh, I just want to try with my right eye.
Exactly.
You go for the whole thing, or you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the common denominator between the most successful practices and the ones that I've both have as clients that I've interviewed, even some of my own locations and consultants, are always, like you said, setting the right expectations, selling the best, most individualized, outcome-focused treatment plan, being a straight shooter, being direct, setting the right expectations, being honest. Like those things always, and that equates to usually the highest ticket treatment plan. That's it.
I agree. Like, I'm always honest. I don't sugarcoat things like, hey, you're going to look perfect when you leave. No, I tell them, listen, it's a work in progress. We have to trust the process. If they trust the process, they're going to get there.
And I think people in today's crowded, and Leo, you and I talked about this a little bit in our last conversation, but people just want to have authentic engagements. They want to have people like actually be honest with them, right? Like, that's just not sugarcoat the truth. And there's so many options and providers these days. So like people are actually these days, I think, feel the energy of like another human being, where it's like, hey, like this person actually wants the best for me. Yeah, they want to sell me, but they want the best for me. I love good salespeople.
I do
I
too.
love good salespeople. I really do. I'm like, sell me. I want to be sold. I want, like, if you can help me, go ahead.
That's my biggest, that's my big absolute, I couldn't agree more. It's all about the other person. Like, you need to make sure that, like, you already know if there is value or no. That there is there's nobody who's just stepping into a medical spa sort of things, or any spa sort of thing, without knowing that they need something. The question is if they think you'll be able to provide it or not. And this good for everything. Like, it's good for any aspect around, any aspect in life, or any interaction between people. It's like just simple as that. It's
So would
all
you
about
say that
trust.
mindset is probably the most important thing in this, entrepreneurial journey when it comes, obviously other types of businesses, but we were talking about aesthetics. Would you say mindset and like trickling down from you guys down?
Yes,
Absolutely.
it's about like empowerment, positivity. I come in and I'm feeling confident and I'm ready to go. Our day is organized, and I think like when we provide that energy around our staff also believes in us, and they see the results, so they believe in it too. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense.
I talk a lot about um, us being better at sales, becoming better at sales, and blaming people less for not buying. You know, um, like I tell my staff, I'm like, something I tell them, I'm like, hey, if you don't if you're not making sales, I want to know what you should have or could have done better, because ultimately you were responsible for the outcome of this interaction. We're paying for advertising for these people to come in. Just tell me what you could have done better and take ownership and accountability, because there are going to be people who just can't afford it, and I understand that. Where you can't
Absolutely.
sell 100% of people, but I think that mindset is like, hey, if I'm taking ownership and accountability, then I think that's going to reflect itself in the results as well. What do you guys think?
It's absolutely true. The debrief is, I mean, it's something that I do a lot in my professional life, but I incorporated it to the business, and it goes hand in hand. I think we do it on an hourly basis, not even a daily basis.
Yeah.
Every client, everything, especially the mess ups,
Yeah.
especially, and it doesn't have to be a professional mess up, because this never happens. But if a client is not satisfied, or they think they could have got more for more value, or we were not clear enough, or anything else, like, we forever, like 10 out of
But we
10.
listen to our clients.
Absolutely, but
we want them to be happy as much as we can to our extent. So if there's something that they want worked on more, we will definitely listen to them and be like more personable with them.
Right, but we always learn from from one client to another, and we try to make
Absolutely.
sure that those mistakes, like, those inconveniences, or this, not being clear in one subject or another, is fixed and delivered once we go to the next person.
I love that you said something about sales meetings, right? And a lot of people don't treat this business as a business, and I think like the big thing I do is Money Mondays, is where we meet with our team and we talk about, hey, who's coming in this week? How can we help them, right? Because that's how we make money, by helping people. So I like that you talked about sales meeting. Can you touch a little bit more about that, the expectation setting, the planning, the accountability
Yeah.
pieces?
We just had one today, actually.
Yeah.
So we start with our sales meeting with essentially like a good quote, something inspiring. And then after that, we talk about just every month is a different subject. So, for example, like, what are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? How do we feel that we can do better? Is there a situation that happened that we felt like we didn't know how to react to it?
Scenario based, basically.
Yeah, scenario based. And then we talk about like things that we can improve within our organization to make it more flowing and better for the girls' environment. Anything that they want to bring up. We touch base on how we can improve different devices, how we can improve the treatments, what can we do for them on our end to help improve the sales for them, and what they can do for us, to feel more confident as well, because we're all a team at the end of the day. So without them, there is no spa as well. So we do touch base on a lot of those things.
Is there, and then I assume weekly sales goals, targets, revenue targets, stuff
Yeah,
like that?
Yes.
monthly. We have like a monthly, like a little nice bonus, if somebody meets the highest sale, which is like a little good incentive for them as well.
It's,
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, it has to be, right? It has to be. I
Yeah.
think having proper commission structure is insanely important. Leo, what would you tell people who think that they should spend less on paid ads, or that paid ads really just, are just crap these days? What would you tell them?
It's um it's pretty easy, honestly. It takes money to make money in any business, and you don't see it when you in the beginning when you struggle and you don't have a strong financial backup or anything around these lines. It's very hard to see it. But once you actually step further and put your trust into other people, and you see the results, it's much easier to it's much easier to spend more or to invest more, should I say?
Yeah, you got to spend money to make money. In the beginning, I was so scared, but he showed me that, the more we invest, the better the outcomes will be for us. And I completely agree with that now.
And especially with with social media marketing, because there is only so much you can do in your own in your own page. And I think we've been doing pretty good
We're
with
active. We're very
20
active.
k and more and counting
Followers.
followers, and attraction is growing from like each and every week. But again, it's measurements and making sure that you work with the right people to take it forward and further. But again, there is only so many people your actual account is going to reach, and if you're not going to be out there branching out and advertising, uh, you might reach your goals, but there will be no scalability there. Does it make sense at all?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's this mindset. I think there's this not mindset, but there's been this unfortunate um, belief that just because I'm gonna have a med spa these days and aesthetics practice, I'm going
That's
to,
it. Where's the money?
yeah,
There's so
right.
much
It's
blood, sweat, and tears in this business. Like, there's
Yeah,
sometimes
no,
where I
for
even feel
sure,
like
right?
closing the doors.
Entrepreneurship isn't easy, right? Especially in the beginning, and you guys said that, right? Like when I started this, the agency business. I mean, I was 10 months without any pay. I worked, 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. I mean,
Oh,
it's gruesome, right? It's gruesome, but you learn. It makes you better. It makes you sharper. It makes you appreciate things a little bit more, and it makes you think, man, I do have to invest, not just my time, my resources, right? And this is like a good attribution of success to you guys, right? Like you kind of had to figure out, like, hey, we have to get clients results. We have to have we got some results, we got some traction, now we have to invest. And then as you get more traction, you said, I'm going to invest more. You got organized with your team, with your training, with your accountability, your SOPs, all that stuff. You built an actual business, and you started treating it like a business, not just a hobby or a lifestyle thing, right? I see a lot of people just cashing out, right? And then
it drives nothing drives me crazy more. I have to say, it doesn't matter, because obviously, especially when we travel and we travel quite a bit, we'll forever try to stop somewhere and see how other people run their stuff, and either whether it's friends or random places that we get to see, it's always quite funny to see that everybody's always balling, like everybody is they're the first ones to show the Hermes and the Louis Vuitton, but you know how hard the way there, and sometimes it's like it's not all about that life, but like we understand how hard and how much
Yes.
you need to reinvest into the business in order to make it grow. That's
100%.
it.
yeah, that's amazing, guys. Um, this has been absolutely amazing, and I'm super excited for our journey together from here. But any like, I would like to have one big idea, big key takeaway from each one of you as we kind of wrap this thing up in a little bit.
You
Well,
can start.
yeah. Honestly, it's the uh, it's the crazy slogan we have on the wall, on my flower wall, and on my personal flower wall that I installed with both my hands and
Yeah,
fix
we glue
until
gunned
today.
it. We glue
Yeah,
gunned it.
absolutely, so many times. But it's think big and become elite. It's there is only one way. There is only one way, and it's going up. It might take a year, and it might take 10 years or 15. Nobody knows. But as long as you put up the effort and you show up, for the bad, for the good, and for the ugly, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to do all three, you might get lucky, but there is no there is no reason to count on luck when you actually do the work, because you know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. It's not a matter of if. That's it.
For me, it's even if you think you know everything, there's always something to work on. Honestly, like for myself, sometimes I'm like, I know this, I know that, but then I realize every single day that I'm still growing and there's so many things that I can improve in myself. So I'm like, just keep improving and just keep pushing yourself every day. That's what I would say for myself personally.
Yeah, I think the best entrepreneurs are forever students of the game, right? And there's always somebody who knows a little bit more, who's done something else and something differently. So, guys, where can people find you if they want to network and mastermind? The aesthetics community can be supportive, but it can be lonely sometimes. If we want to, obviously, a lot of people listen to this podcast, especially on Spotify while they're driving or doing something else. And where can people find you if they want to connect with you guys, and further their relationship as well?
Absolutely, on Instagram.
Yeah, Elite Spa MA, that's our handle. We answer all DMs, and it has our website. And
EliteSpaMA.com.
anybody wants to email us or message us, the Instagram is the way to go for us.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Really
Thanks for
appreciate our
having us.
conversation. You guys crush it. And
Thanks.
we thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you for having us. We loved it. It was awesome to talk about it because I
Yeah,
always
we
talk
don't
about
often.
it.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
often
we don't
talk
talk
about
about
it.
it.
It's quite funny.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Our journey, at least.
Yeah.